Welcome to Lengold English, where you don't just learn English, you learn how to master yourself, your mind, and your destiny. Today we're going to talk about something that changed my life forever. Something that separates ordinary people from extraordinary ones. Something that costs nothing but gives you everything. The power of silence. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you sat in complete silence? No music, no phone, no TV, no voices, just you and your thoughts. If you can't remember, you're not alone. Because we live in the noisiest generation in human history. But here's what nobody tells you. The noise outside is stealing your power inside. Think about it. Every notification, every song, every conversation, every scroll through social media, it's all taking something from you. Your attention, your energy, your clarity, your peace. And the worst part, you don't even notice it's gone until it's too late. But today, that changes. Because in the next 25 minutes, you're going to discover why silence is not just golden. Silence is your greatest weapon in life. After watching this, you will understand why the most powerful people in the world protect their silence like treasure, why they guard it, why they never waste it. This is not about being quiet. This is about becoming unstoppable. So stay with me until the very end, because what you're about to learn will transform not just how you think, but how you live. Let's begin. Benefit 1. Silence protects your vision.
When you keep silent about your dreams, you keep them safe. You keep them pure. You keep them powerful. Let me tell you something most people learn too late. The moment you share your vision with others, you invite their opinions, their doubts, their fears into your mind. And those things are like poison. They kill dreams before they even have a chance to grow. There's a reason why farmers don't dig up seeds every day to check if they're growing. Because if you keep disturbing the soil, nothing will ever bloom. Your dreams are the same. They need silence. They need darkness. They need time. Let me give you a powerful example. There was a young woman named Sarah Blakely. She had an idea for a new type of clothing, something nobody had ever created before. She worked at her job during the day, and at night, she worked on her idea in complete silence. She didn't tell her friends. She didn't post about it. She didn't ask for validation. For 2 years, she worked alone. People thought she was just an ordinary salesperson, but in her silence, she was building something extraordinary. She was creating Spanx. Today, she's a billionaire, one of the most successful self-made women in America. And when people ask her how she did it, she always says the same thing. I didn't tell anyone my idea for the first year because I didn't want their doubt to become my doubt. That's wisdom. You see, when you speak about your plans, your brain gets a false sense of achievement. It feels like you've already done something just by talking about it. Scientists call this social reality. Your mind can't tell the difference between doing something and talking about doing something. So what happens? You lose motivation. You lose fire. You lose hunger. But when you stay silent, when you keep your vision locked inside, it burns. It grows. It becomes an obsession. And that obsession becomes fuel, unstoppable fuel. So remember this, the people who talk about their plans are still planning. The people who stay silent about their plans are already executing. Don't announce. Don't explain. Don't defend. Just build in silence and let your success make all the noise later.
Benefit 2. Silence reveals the truth. In silence, you see what others miss. You hear what others ignore. You understand what others will never comprehend. Because when you stop talking, you start listening. And when you start listening, you start learning. And when you start learning, you start winning. Most people are so busy speaking, they never hear the truth. They're so busy explaining themselves, they never see the patterns. They're so busy reacting, they never understand what's really happening. But when you master silence, you become an observer, a detective, a strategist. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you're in a business meeting. Everyone is talking, presenting ideas, arguing, competing for attention. But you sit quietly. You watch body language. You notice who interrupts who. You see who looks away when certain topics come up. You feel the energy shift in the room. While everyone else is performing, you're analyzing. And by the end of that meeting, you know more about everyone in that room than they know about themselves. That's power. Real power. There's a famous story about Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world. In meetings, he rarely speaks. He listens. He observes. He thinks. And when he finally does speak, everyone stops. Because they know his words come from deep understanding, not surface reactions. Someone once asked him, "Why don't you speak more in meetings?" He smiled and said, "You can't learn anything when you're talking." Think about that. Silence doesn't make you weak. Silence makes you wise. Because in silence, you process information others are too distracted to notice. You connect dots others are too busy to see. You make decisions others are too emotional to understand. And here's the beautiful part. While everyone else is revealing their cards, their insecurities, their strategies, you're keeping yours hidden. You're staying mysterious, unpredictable, dangerous. In a world where everyone overshares, silence makes you unforgettable. In a world where everyone overreacts, silence makes you unshakable. So next time you're in a room full of noise, be the silence, be the stillness, be the one who sees everything while revealing nothing. Because the silent observer always has the advantage. Benefit 3. Silence builds unbreakable discipline. Discipline is not loud. Discipline is quiet. Discipline doesn't announce itself. It just shows up every single day, in the dark, when nobody is watching. And that's why silence and discipline are inseparable. They're brothers. They're partners. You cannot have one without the other. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever noticed that the people who post every day about their workout routine are usually the ones who quit first? Have you ever noticed that the people who talk constantly about their goals are usually the ones who never achieve them? That's because noise drains discipline. Talking about doing something tricks your brain into thinking you've already done it. But silence keeps you hungry. Silence keeps you focused. Silence keeps you moving. Let me tell you about David Goggins. If you don't know him, he's a retired Navy SEAL, ultra-marathon runner, and one of the toughest human beings alive. He came from nothing: abusive childhood, poverty, obesity, depression. But he made a decision.
He decided to transform himself completely. And you know what he did? He went silent. He stopped making excuses. He stopped complaining. He stopped explaining his pain to anyone. Every morning at 4 a.m., he was running. While others were sleeping, he was training. While others were posting on social media, he was suffering in silence, building himself brick by brick, mile by mile, rep by rep. Nobody saw it. Nobody knew. He wasn't trying to inspire anyone. He was just doing the work. And then, one day, the world discovered him. They saw what silence had built. A machine, a warrior, a legend. He said something that changed my life. You will never learn the peaceful mind until you suffer in silence. Read that again.
Suffering in silence doesn't mean suffering forever. It means you're too busy building to complain, too focused to make excuses, too disciplined to need applause. Because here's the truth. Applause is temporary. Discipline is permanent. Likes fade. Results last. Attention disappears. Character remains. When you work in silence, you're not working for validation, you're working for transformation. And transformation doesn't happen in the spotlight. It happens in the shadows, in the early mornings, in the late nights, in the moments when nobody is watching and you still choose to do what must be done. That's discipline. That's power. That's freedom. So stop announcing your goals. Stop celebrating small wins publicly. Stop seeking approval for every step you take. Just put your head down and work. Let your discipline speak through your results, not through your posts. Because when you master silence, you master yourself. And when you master yourself, nothing in this world can stop you.
Benefit 4. Silence heals your mind.
Your mind is a battlefield, and every day it's under attack. Negative thoughts, worries, doubts, fears, regrets, anxiety. It never stops. But here's something beautiful. Silence is the medicine your mind desperately needs. In silence, your brain finally gets to rest, to reset, to heal. Because when there's no external noise, your internal noise starts to settle. The storm inside begins to calm. Scientists have proven this. When you sit in silence, your brain produces something called alpha waves. These are the waves associated with relaxation, creativity, and deep healing. Your stress hormones drop. Your blood pressure lowers. Your heart rate slows down. But more than that, something spiritual happens. You start to hear your true self again. Not the voice of society, not the voice of your parents, not the voice of your fears, but your own voice, your intuition, your soul. Let me share something personal with me. There was a time in my life when I was completely lost. I was anxious every day, couldn't sleep, couldn't focus, couldn't find peace. I tried everything: therapy, meditation apps, self-help books. Nothing worked. Then one day, I did something radical. I turned off my phone for an entire weekend. No internet, no messages, no music, just me and silence. The first few hours were torture. My mind was racing. I felt uncomfortable, restless, like I was missing something important.
but I stayed with it. And then, slowly, something shifted. On the second day, I started to feel calm, really calm. For the first time in months, I could hear myself think clearly. I could feel my emotions without panicking. I could breathe without anxiety crushing my chest. By the third day, I felt reborn, like I had come back to life. I wrote in my journal, "I didn't realize how sick I was until I tasted silence." That weekend changed everything for me. You see, we're so addicted to noise that we've forgotten what peace feels like. We're so used to distraction that we've forgotten how to just be. We're so afraid of our own thoughts that we drown them out with endless content, endless scrolling, endless consumption.
But your mind is begging you to stop. It's crying out for silence, for rest, for healing. And here's what happens when you give it that gift. You start sleeping better. You start thinking clearer. You start making better decisions. You stop feeling overwhelmed by life. You stop reacting to everything. You start responding with wisdom. Silence doesn't just heal your mind, it upgrades it. It sharpens it. It transforms it into something powerful and unshakable. So give yourself permission to be silent, not just for a few minutes, but regularly, daily. Make it sacred. Protect it like your life depends on it. Because honestly, it does.
Benefit 5. Silence creates respect.
There's something magnetic about a person who doesn't need to speak all the time. Something powerful. Something that commands respect without demanding it. You've felt it before. You walk into a room and there's someone sitting quietly in the corner. Not trying to be noticed, not competing for attention, just present, calm, observing. And somehow everyone in that room is aware of them. That's the power of silence. It creates presence. It creates gravity. It creates respect. Because when you speak less, your words carry more weight. When you're selective about what you say, people actually listen when you do speak. When you don't react to everything, people start to wonder what you're thinking. Mystery creates respect. Silence creates mystery. Let me tell you about Keanu Reeves, one of the most respected actors in Hollywood. Not because he's the loudest, not because he's always in the headlines, not because he promotes himself constantly. He's respected because he's silent about his success. He's humble. He doesn't brag. He doesn't show off. He doesn't participate in drama. He just does beautiful work and lives a quiet, dignified life. There are stories of him giving millions to the crew of his movies, stories of him taking the subway, stories of him sitting on a bench, eating a sandwich alone. And people love him for it. They respect him deeply. Why? Because in a world full of people screaming for attention, he chose silence. And that silence spoke louder than any publicity stunt ever could. You see, respect is not given to those who demand it. Respect is given to those who earn it quietly, through character, through integrity, through consistency. When you talk too much, you give people too much information. You reveal your insecurities. You show your weaknesses. You make yourself predictable. But when you guard your silence, you guard your reputation. You become someone worth listening to, someone worth knowing, someone worth respecting. Even in relationships, notice this. The person who talks nonstop is often ignored, but the person who speaks rarely, when they finally do, everyone stops to listen. That's not manipulation, that's mastery. So if you want respect,
Stop trying to impress everyone with your words. Start impressing them with your silence. Let your actions speak. Let your character speak. Let your presence speak. Because the most respected people in every field, every industry, every culture, they all share one quality. They know when to speak and when to stay silent. And that wisdom, my friend, that is true power. Benefit 6. Silence attracts success.
Success doesn't come to the loud, it comes to the focused. And you cannot be focused while drowning in noise. Every successful person will tell you the same thing. They protect their time. They protect their energy. They protect their silence. Because they know that silence is where success is built. Think about it. Where do great ideas come from? Silence. Where do billion-dollar strategies get created? Silence. Where do life-changing decisions get made? Silence. You will never build an empire while scrolling social media. You will never create a masterpiece while listening to gossip. You will never reach your potential while wasting your energy on meaningless conversations. Success demands your full attention, and attention requires silence.
Let me give you one final, powerful example. Elon Musk. Love him or hate him, you cannot deny his success. Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, multiple billion-dollar companies. How does he do it? People think it's just intelligence, but intelligence without focus is useless. What makes Elon different is his ability to go deep, to shut out the world, to work in complete isolation for hours, sometimes days, solving impossible problems. He doesn't attend every party. He doesn't respond to every critic. He doesn't waste time defending himself. He just works in silence, with focus, with intensity, and the results speak for themselves. That's what silence gives you. It gives you the space to think deeply, to work obsessively, to create relentlessly. While everyone else is distracted by noise, you're building in silence. And when you finally emerge, you emerge victorious.
Success is attracted to silence. Because silence is where preparation happens. Silence is where skills are sharpened. Silence is where champions are forged. So if you want success, real success, not just the appearance of it, then you must fall in love with silence. You must protect it fiercely. You must make it your competitive advantage. Because in a noisy world, silence is the ultimate luxury. And those who possess it possess everything. Now, let me share with you the practical steps. How do you actually develop this power in your daily life?
Step 1. Create a sacred silence ritual.
Starting tomorrow, I want you to do something radical. Wake up 30 minutes earlier than usual. Don't check your phone. Don't turn on the TV. Don't play music. Don't do anything. Just sit in silence. I know it sounds simple, maybe even boring, but this is the foundation of everything. This is where your transformation begins. Find a quiet place in your home. It could be your bedroom, your living room, even your bathroom, if that's the only place you can be alone. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and just breathe. At first, your mind will rebel. It will throw 1,000 thoughts at you. Your to-do list, your worries, your regrets, your plans. Let them come. Don't fight them. Just observe them like clouds passing in the sky.
This is not meditation. This is not prayer. This is just you meeting yourself in the silence, getting comfortable with your own presence, remembering what peace feels like. Do this every single morning for 30 days. No excuses,
No exceptions. Rain or shine, tired or energized, motivated or not. This is your sacred ritual now. And I promise you, after 30 days, you will be a different person. Your mind will be clearer. Your decisions will be sharper. Your energy will be stronger. Your life will be calmer. Because you've given yourself the gift that most people are too afraid to accept, the gift of silence.
Step 2. Practice strategic silence in conversations.
This step will change how people see you immediately. Starting today, I want you to practice the 5-second rule in every conversation. Here's how it works. When someone asks you a question, don't answer immediately. Pause. Count to 5 in your mind, then respond. When someone says something controversial or provocative, don't react immediately. Pause. Count to 5, then decide if it's even worth responding to. This tiny habit creates massive changes. First, it makes you appear more thoughtful and intelligent. Second, it prevents you from saying things you'll regret later. Third, it gives you time to craft a response that actually matters. But more than that, it trains you to be comfortable with silence in social situations. Most people are terrified of silence. They fill every gap with words, with jokes, with nervous laughter. But you're learning to own the silence, to use it strategically.
And here's what will happen. People will start paying more attention when you speak. They'll lean in. They'll remember your words, because you've shown them that when you do speak, it's worth listening to. Try this for just 1 week. In every conversation, at work, at home, with friends, practice the 5-second pause and watch how it transforms your communication and your relationships.
Step 3. Eliminate noise from your environment.
This is the most practical and immediate step, and it's simple. For the next 7 days, I want you to cut your noise consumption in half. Here's what I mean. If you normally spend 4 hours a day on social media, make it 2 hours. If you always have music playing in the background, turn it off for half the day. If you watch TV every evening, skip it 3 nights this week. Replace that noise with silence, with stillness, with space to think. I know this sounds uncomfortable, maybe even impossible, but that discomfort is exactly why you need to do it. Because if the idea of silence makes you uncomfortable, it means you've become addicted to noise, and that addiction is destroying your potential. When you're driving, instead of turning on the radio, drive in silence. When you're cooking, instead of watching videos, cook in silence. When you're walking, instead of listening to podcasts, walk in silence.
At first, you'll feel awkward, bored, restless. Your hand will automatically reach for your phone. Your mind will scream for stimulation. But resist. Breathe through it. Stay with the silence. And gradually, something beautiful will happen. You'll start to enjoy it. You'll start to crave it. You'll realize how much mental space you've been missing, how many thoughts you've been ignoring, how many ideas you've been drowning out with constant noise. This one step alone, reducing noise by half, will give you back your mind, your creativity, your peace, your power. So commit to it. 7 days. Cut the noise in half and watch your life transform.
Step 4. Protect your silence like a treasure.
The final step is a mindset shift. From this day forward, I want you to see silence not as something passive, but as something precious, sacred, valuable. Silence is not what happens when nothing is going on. Silence is what you create when everything is trying to distract you.
So protect it, guard it, fight for it. Say no to unnecessary meetings. Say no to draining conversations. Say no to people who waste your time with gossip and negativity. Say no to commitments that don't serve your growth. Create boundaries around your silence. Tell your family, I need 30 minutes alone every morning. Tell your friends, I'm taking a break from group chats for a while. Tell your colleagues, I need focused work time without interruptions. People might not understand at first. They might think you're being antisocial or strange. Let them think whatever they want. You're not doing this for them. You're doing this for your future, for your sanity, for your success. Because here's the truth nobody tells you. Your silence is more valuable than anyone's opinion. Your peace is more important than anyone's approval. Your focus is more powerful than anyone's distraction. Treat your silence like the billionaire treats their money, with respect, with strategy, with fierce protection. And when you do, when you truly master the art of protecting your silence, you become unstoppable, unshakable, untouchable. Let me leave you with this final thought, my friend. Silence is not the absence of power. Silence is the presence of absolute control over your mind, over your emotions, over your destiny. In a world that never stops screaming for your attention, silence is your rebellion. In a world that demands you perform constantly, silence is your freedom. In a world that tries to break you with noise, silence is your fortress. The most dangerous people are not the ones who talk the most. The most dangerous people are the ones who say nothing while preparing everything. The ones who watch while others react. The ones who build while others boast. You have the power to become that person, starting right now, starting today. You don't need permission. You don't need perfection. You just need to begin. Take back your silence. Take back your mind. Take back your life. Because when you master silence, you don't just change yourself. You change everything around you. Your relationships improve. Your work improves. Your health improves. Your entire existence elevates to a level you never thought possible. This is not philosophy. This is not theory. This is real power. Ancient power. Timeless power. The power that built empires, created legends, and transformed ordinary people into extraordinary beings. And now, that power is yours. So what will you do with it? Will you let it slip away like everyone else? Or will you grab it, protect it, and use it to become the person you were always meant to be? The choice is yours. But remember this: the world will not wait for you to decide. The noise will not stop attacking. The distractions will not stop calling. You must choose silence every single day, in every single moment, until it becomes who you are. And when that day comes, when silence becomes your nature, you won't need to prove anything to anyone. You won't need to explain yourself. You won't need to chase success, because success will chase you. Respect will find you. Peace will surround you. Power will flow through you. All because you learned the most important lesson in life. Silence is not weakness. Silence is wisdom. Silence is strength. Silence is everything. Now go. Take your first step into silence and never look back. If this message touched your soul, if it awakened something inside you, then please subscribe to this channel, because every day we don't just teach English,
we teach you how to master life itself. Until next time, stay silent, stay powerful, stay unstoppable. Your silence is your superpower.